Welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Kelcey Norris.
And I'm Monica Kurjan. Today we're bringing you the latest in news, arts, and sports. Stay tuned for a coronavirus update, a new sports segment, and more.
JambarTV in Youngstown, Ohio. This is your student news. With Kelcey Norris, Monica Kurjan, Gabrielle Owens, Abigail Cloutier, Thomas Kushner, and Ben Luli. This is JambarTV.
The Board of Trustees met September 3rd and discussed COVID, funding, and enrollment. President Jim Trussell announced YSU has a total of 22 COVID-19 cases since June. 16 students tested positive, as well as 6 faculty members. None of the students currently live on campus. This information is available on the university's newly added COVID-19 dashboard. Administration updates the dashboard weekly. Trussell also said overall enrollment dropped by 4.4%. Funding from the Penguin to Penguin Fund and the Federal CARES Act helped YSU students pay for tuition after they lost their jobs. The board will continue to use CARES Act funding. We will continue to report COVID-19 data as we obtain it. Make sure to stay tuned for our COVID-19 update for the latest Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana County case numbers.
On-campus residents are still struggling to adapt to changes for the school year. Erin Hungerman, Director of Residence Life, oversees residential living on campus. She said the university has designated living spaces, like Weller House, for students who have COVID-19. Sanitizing and disinfecting products are available in the academic buildings and residential halls. But freshman Allison Greco says students are reluctant to properly clean their spaces. She's a member of Pete's cleanup crew on campus.
I've seen in the classroom, because the kids are supposed to be wiping their desks down when they go in and when they come out. And I was talking to some of them yesterday, and not one of them went back came out of the classroom and got any of the stuff to clean the desks, or got back in it. That was really my concern right there.
The newly reimagined Penguin Pantry provides groceries and hygiene products for students in need. Student Government Association paired up with Student Outreach and Support to supply these resources. Students can now request their groceries virtually and pick them up anonymously in Kilcawley Center. If a student is in quarantine on campus, volunteers will deliver the groceries to their door with no contact.
So we are entirely donation-based. So we get all of our food, all of our water, all of our hygiene supplies and stuff from donors. We also have a fund at the YSU Foundation where people can donate monetary donations online or in person, and then we use that fund to buy shelving, food, paper towels, different things like that for our students.
Students can request canned food, non-perishables, drinks, toiletries, and fresh produce for pickup through an online survey, available on SGA's website under the Resources tab. The Penguin Pantry is always looking for donations and student volunteers.
YSU recently started a new Doctor of Nursing program. The program will consist of 36 months of training to become nurse anesthetists. Only 25 qualified candidates will be accepted into the program.
So the application process is fairly simple. We have a website, and students typically, or prospective students, go to our website, and there's a tab on there that says applications and admissions, and students are able to simply print that application offline and go ahead and submit it with all of the required information that is required.
The deadline for the first round of applications was August 31st. However, another application deadline will open up if seats are not all filled.
With the presidential election coming up in November, students have the option to vote by mail-in ballot. Samantha Smith has more.
Students can vote by mail as an alternative option to in-person voting. Caroline Jesko, Assistant Director of Programming for Student Activities, tells us how you can request a ballot.
And then for the absentee ballot application specifically, you have a paper form that you have to fill out. You don't need a reason to vote absentee in Ohio. Anyone can vote absentee by mail. And that request deadline to request an absentee ballot is 12 p.m. Saturday, October 31st.
The Student Government Association also helps spread information about voting to students. Justin Shaughnessy, president of SGA, talks about what they do to promote voting.
Last year and the years before, like I said, we would table in Kilcawley Center and just help students register to vote, as well as change their registration if they need to, since a lot of students move and different things like that. Making sure that that's up to date is really what we focused on. So this year we really want to do a lot more because we can foresee a lot of confusion with a lot of the changes that are going on.
For more information or to request an absentee ballot, visit ohiosos.gov.
YSU's mental health services changed this semester. Previously, counseling services stopped offering therapy last semester. Instead, they were only offering referrals to outside clinics. They decided to reopen short-term therapy this semester due to the increased stress of the pandemic.
I mean, it wasn't complicated. Again, this is something that we wanted to do. We never wanted to just have to assess and refer. So being able to provide therapy is important. So it was, again, there wasn't a lot of discussion. There wasn't a big thing. It was just, okay, we're coming back in the fall and this is what we're going to.
In the past, students could also utilize the community counseling clinic for services. The program paired students with a graduate student in the counseling program. However, it is unclear if students can utilize this service this semester. WIC Primary Care also has a psychiatrist on site for medication needs.
The We Care Daycare and Learning Center on campus awards scholarships to 2 student parents. The scholarships, along with other resources, defray child care costs. Samantha Smith has more.
The We Care Daycare Scholarship gave out free childcare while students attend class for 1 academic year. The scholarship offers support at a university with a large non-traditional student population. Joy Pacabla-Byers, Executive Director of Campus Recreation and Student Wellbeing, explained why they created the scholarship.
So one of the things that we really have been looking at is what impacts an individual to be successful at YSU. And for those students that are parents, one of the biggest barriers for them is childcare at an affordable cost.
Along with the daycare, the Rich Center for Autism also offers childcare assistance for children. The center helps determine the best way to meet the child's educational needs.
We work to provide optimal education experiences for our students who are all diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder.
For more information on We Care Daycare, visit weecareohio.com. For more information on the Rich Center, visit richcenter.ysu.edu.
Let's head over to YSU's campus for our weekly coronavirus update. Thomas Kushner has more.
As of Wednesday, there is 1 active case of COVID-19 at YSU. According to the YSU coronavirus dashboard, the case does not come from an on-campus resident. The data was last updated on September 14th, though the charts only show data from September 5th. Check ysu.edu for more coronavirus information. In Mahoning County, there are 57 new cases since September 3rd. This brings the total to 2,800 since the start of the pandemic. There are a total of 93 cases in 2 zip codes that cover YSU's campus. This also includes downtown, the south side, and west sides of Youngstown. In Trumbull County, 37 new cases have been identified since September 3rd. This is an average of nearly 3 cases a day and brings the county's total to just over 1,800 cases. In Columbiana County, there were 31 new cases, bringing the total to nearly 1,900 cases. For more information about YSU's cases, visit ysu.edu for their coronavirus dashboard. For cases by county, visit the Ohio Department of Health's coronavirus dashboard.
former quarterback here at Youngstown State, I understand what it takes to be the very best. By becoming a member of the Penguin Club, you can help provide the support necessary for all YSU student athletes to be their very best. You'll receive great benefits like priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality rooms. To join the Penguin Club, call 330-941-1YSU or go to ysusports.com.
Hi, and welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Abigail Cloutier, and I'm here with Dr. Stephanie Smith, the acting co-director of the School of Performing Arts today, and we're going to talk about the upcoming theater department season. Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So how did the theater department decide to move forward with their fall season this year?
Well, the season that we produce is a co-curricular season, so it's really important for all of our curricular needs that our students get to perform, right? And so it was never a thought that we wouldn't have a season, but we had to do a lot of research to figure out how we could make that season happen. And one of the things you have to keep in mind is that our productions, we have to get licensing rights to put these productions on. Normally they're on stage. And so we had the added complication of finding a platform that we could use so that we could deliver content through other means, right? So we're using a platform called showtixforyou.com, and that's going to allow us to film our productions, and then we do a lot of editing in post-production. So this isn't going to be something where a camera's in the back of the room and actors are on stage, but rather a lot of editing and post-production is going to go on. And then we're going to be able to upload that, and people can watch these shows from the comfort of their own homes, right, in watch parties or individually. And this is going to allow us to move forward, giving the students the opportunities that they need, these performance opportunities, and also through the filming process, it's going to allow them to have those experiences with individual takes to, say, adjust the way that they go about the scene, then think about it, then go back and take another take. And that's actually part of the pedagogic experience that they get in a normal staged production from weekend 1 to weekend 2. When they have all that middle part of the week, they can think about what they've done, make adjustments, and then they've got 3 more performances. So,
okay, awesome. So talk to me a little bit about the newest upcoming show.
So the first show in the fall season is The Glass Menagerie. It's a well-known play by Tennessee Williams. It is somewhat autobiographical, and it's often described as a memory play. And so that has a small ensemble cast of four individuals. So it kind of worked well. That was already planned. We were going to be doing that on the stage. And then in March, when we all went home, we realized, wow, we were sort of lucky that we chose something with a small ensemble cast so we can continue to move forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned that there's a lot of post-production editing. So with this show specifically, how did rehearsals work with the actors?
So they're still in rehearsals now. They did a lot of what they call table work, which is some of the initial, read through where everybody normally would sit around a table with their script, and they would work with the director, with the stage manager, assistant director. They did a lot of that work via Zoom or WebEx, and then they did some initial rehearsals in that manner, and they continue to do some rehearsals in that manner. But now they're working more and more in Spotlight Theater downstairs. They're not all necessarily showing up for every rehearsal. They have a very thought out schedule so that certain actors are coming together to work, and so they're kind of keeping the space as trim as they can. We have a wonderful stage manager who has just been incredible about making sure that the space is managed properly with regard to following all of the protocols that have been handed down by the state. And so, it's constantly being cleaned before they go in. The floors are sprayed, all of the props that they're using, and little by little more props are brought in. And as the production, as they continue to produce things for the show. And so they're keeping those clean, figuring out what disinfectants work, what disinfecting wipes work. And then they're using facial coverings. We did provide facial shields as well. So in some cases they're using face shields, in some cases they're using face coverings. And then, as you and I are here, in some cases, they are not covered, but we keep those moments to a minimum. And again, we're following all of the state guidelines that have been handed down by Governor DeWine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great that they get to continue to have those experiences and get to learn and participate in as well. So I know after the show, there are a couple more shows that will finish out the fall semester. So could you tell us a little bit about those?
So the Glass Menagerie opens on the 25th of September, and then on November 13th, we have Elegies, a song cycle. And that's a really interesting piece by William Finn. He is a Tony Award-winning composer and lyricist. And those songs, as the title suggests, they are songs about memory and loss. And so kind of fits somehow into what's going on in the world right now. And that's our musical, and it's going to be really beautiful. We have some exciting guest performers that are going to be involved in that project as well. And then on December 4th, we have Chillin' in a Winter Wonderland, an evening of seasonal jazz and pop tunes. That's our fall cabaret. And that one we're making available on YouTube. That one's going to be free of charge. And that's a really popular event. We do 2 cabarets a year. So that's pretty exciting. And then on the 6th of December, we have our really popular 10-minute plays. And that will also be made available free of charge on YouTube.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today at JambarTV. Back to you guys.
The environment in the hospital can be very intense for a patient. Being able to put a smile on their face brightens up my day. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is nursing. What I love about studying nursing is that it takes you out of the classroom and into the lab. It's really hands-on. The professors here push you to be your absolute best, so if you want it, you gotta work hard for it. I am so excited about my future. I'm Shantiana and I am why I'm proud.
Welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Gabrielle Owens here with your student life news. This year, the Dana School of Music welcomes back alumni for their virtual concert series. Instead of filling the seats in the recital hall, audience can watch these virtual concerts from the comfort of their home.
Well, we have 2 series that are going to run through the McDonough Museum right next door. And the first is an alumni series, and that'll feature some recent alums from Dana School of Music and theater and dance.
Some alumni returning to YSU for this series include violinist Caitlin Hedge and pianist Sean Barron. They will both perform at the McDonough Museum of Art. Performances will be streamed on YouTube and Facebook. With the football season postponed, the Penguin Nets keep dancing in a different environment. The Penguin Nets adjusted to the new school year by following new requirements and practicing virtually.
Already very, very different. Like, at this point, we would have had a bunch of rehearsals, had a lot of our numbers done. We would have gone to band camp for a whole week before, school started. And we're there for hours on end each day of the week within that week. So not even having that was a hugely different thing.
Honors College students are still finding ways to volunteer this semester. Samantha Smith has more about virtual volunteerism within the college.
Students in the Honors College are still taking part in volunteerism, whether it be online or in person. Molly Hardup, coordinator of student development and retention, explains where students can look for opportunities.
I always say start with Phil, because that comes out again every Sunday at 5, and anything that we do know of, that we've been asked to share with students or that we find and, kind of vet, we'll send to students. We always include that link to the virtual volunteerism in there.
The college makes sure their students have the resources they need to find ways to volunteer. Lexi Raker, coordinator of student recruitment and engagement, explains why volunteering benefits students.
We get a lot of benefits as an individual. The organization, of course, benefits from you volunteering, but it's also, great for networking. It's great for resumes, for job interviews. A lot of grad schools and things now are looking for people who are willing to go out into the community and serve.
60 hours of volunteerism a year is required for Honors College students. However, the college introduced a flexible option. This allows students to finish all 240 volunteer hours in whatever time frame they choose.
After the break, Ben Luli brings you the latest sports news.
As a former quarterback here at Youngstown State, I understand what it takes to be the very best. By becoming a member of the Penguin Club, you can help provide the support necessary for all YSU student athletes to be their very best. You'll receive great benefits like priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality rooms. To join the Penguin Club, call 330-941-1YSU or go to ysusports.com.
Welcome back to JambarTV. I'm Ben Luli with your latest sports news. COVID affects nearly everything on campus. Andrews Rec Center is no exception. Although some are concerned about the difficulties of wearing a mask during exercise, Rec Center staff stresses the importance. The staff also encourages thorough cleaning practices.
Asking that everyone wears face coverings at all times. We did that basically for everyone's safety, not only for patrons using the building, but our staff as well. This way, we're trying to keep everyone as safe as possible. And granted, it might be somewhat of a challenge for everyone to wear a face covering while they're running or doing some exercising.
Right.
So we ask that all patrons monitor their exercise levels, take more frequent water breaks, maybe lower their intensity, those kind of things.
Right.
So.
Since there's no sports for YSU on campus this semester, we decided to dust off the record books and look at the YSU sports past. So this week in YSU sports history, we look at the football team and their record-setting performance against Valparaiso in 2011. They scored a school record 77 points, with 63 of those coming in the first half. The Penguins broke or tied 16 records in total, including this punt return by Jordan Lee. So Valparaiso, they'll punt to YSU. It's the first quarter. Penguins up 7-0. Jordan Lee, he recovered at the 4-yard line. He sees a crease to the left. He's got blockers. He's got one man to beat, and it's the punter, and he'll whiff on the tackle. Little known fact, Jordan Lee actually graduated from YSU with a degree in Josh Cribb's studies from the College of Devin Hester punt returning. To read more about this historic day in YSU sports, pick up this week's Jambar. Next, we'll send it over to Penguin Rundown with a volleyball update for us.
Alongside Kyle Wills. Kyle, last week was our first episode and we took a look at the football team. Like we mentioned last week, things are a little different this year. We're looking more into player profiles, coaches, and teams as a whole. So what team are we going to be looking at this week?
Well, this week we got a chance to dig deeper into the volleyball team. We got a chance to talk to Coach Scott, a senior and a newcomer, so this should be a really great episode.
I'm really excited to take a look at this volleyball program, so we're going to send it over to a few members of our crew who caught up with some key members of the program at Beagley.
The Youngstown State volleyball team had high hopes of a season in 2020. After the Horizon League suspended play, here's what Coach Scott and her players had to say.
Frustrating, but I can't say that I was surprised. You know, there was just a trend in where we were going in the country at that time. So I expected it to come, and I actually think that it was probably the best decision for safety anyhow. I tend to lean on the more conservative side, so I was very concerned of how we were going to travel and compete under these circumstances. So to me, it was the right decision. Frustrating to not have a season first time in a long time for me that we're not competing now, but I thought it was the right decision.
I was really excited to play in the fall, but obviously we're being postponed to the spring. So now I'm just looking forward to just progressing, I guess, with all of our new teammates and getting ready for the spring.
Initially I was really disappointed, but I think we all kind of saw it coming, so we were already looking towards spring.
Over quarantine, Coach Scott and her team found different and interesting ways to keep themselves busy during the off-season.
I can't say that I have any new hobbies because I have a newborn. Well, he's no longer a newborn, he's 8 months now, but basically all my time is dedicated to him and my other son. Basically just a lot of time with the kids and getting to experience all the milestones, you know, that usually I would have missed if we were in season. So that's just what I did, spend time with my kids.
I tried to learn how to juggle. I got okay at it, but while I was home in Utah, I did a lot of hiking and spending time with my
I learned how to play the ukulele a little bit. Not that good. I know like 2 songs, but it's pretty easy.
I rewatched Grey's Anatomy all the way through, and I just did like a lot of puzzles and like card games with my family.
Our crew was able to talk to sophomore Josie Borum on her transfer to Youngstown State, the importance of academics, and what she expects to bring to the team in 2020.
It was a pretty easy transition for me because, I don't know, I went from a school that I really wasn't comfortable at to a school that I really like now. Academically, yeah, I feel like here they care more about your grades and like how you're doing in school, and they put school before athletics, which is what should happen. I mean, hopefully a lot. I really like hitting, so I hope I can bring a lot to this team. I think if we have a season this year, just to like have fun and work together as a team mostly.
Check out Penguin Rundown every Thursday for more sports features. That wraps it up for us today at JambarTV. Tune in next week for the latest in news, sports, and entertainment. Stay safe, Penguins.
The environment in the hospital can be very intense for a patient. Being able to put a smile on their face brightens up my day. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is nursing. What I love about studying nursing is that it takes you out of the classroom and into the lab. It's really hands-on. The professors here push you to be your absolute best, so if you want it, you gotta work hard for it. I am so excited about my future. I'm Shantiana and I am why I'm proud.